Welcome to Pemberley Farm. Well, today we are doing a couple of things. We are making sourdough discard crackers, and then we're going to feed our starter. So this is our starter, and I took it out of the refrigerator a little while ago, and it's bubbling. It's not too bad. I had fed it yesterday morning early because I baked bread yesterday. But anyway, so I'm gonna take some out for discard, and we're gonna make sourdough discard crackers. So we've got about a cup of starter. Excuse me.
What soup you like?
Amelia is blessing me. That's good. All right, so we're gonna pull that out. And then we're going to add to that 2 tablespoons of olive oil. The olive oil coming out of this is a little slow, so bear with me. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I've made this a number of times, but I always have to look at the recipe. All right, so 2 tablespoons of olive oil. A pinch of salt, and I use Redmond's. This is kosher. This is the kosher one, not the real fine one. So we're going to put a pinch of salt in it, and then we're going to put some on top in a few minutes. And then a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I didn't get the teaspoon, so we'll just wing it. How's that? Most of us that have been cooking for a long time can wing it anyway. Whoops, and I did forget I was going to add garlic to it. And so I'm going to run in and just add a little bit of garlic powder, that's all. So anyway, going to put a little bit of garlic, or a lot of garlic, you know. You can never go wrong with garlic. I'm just saying, garlic is my friend. All right, so we're going to mix that up. Now, I will tell you that it says in this recipe, the oven is preheating to 350. I'm gonna, I'm combining all these ingredients, getting them stirred together real good. And then on my Parchment covered sheet pan, I'm gonna pour this out and make it real thin. Now, it says in the middle of it, and I'll tell you, after 10 minutes after you put it in the oven, to take it out and score it. I don't, but you could do it with a pizza cutter or whatever. I don't do it because we just break it, and I just put it in something after it's finished and cooled, and it's fine. Now, if I wanted it to be real, real fancy, yeah, if I was going to serve it to somebody and wanted it to be real fancy, then I might do it. But you can see, it's just starter with the spices and a little bit of oil in it. That's all. So I'm going to pour it out onto this pan. Amelia's going to watch.
We not like that.
Okay.
That yucky.
All right. So we're then we're just going to spread it real thin. And I'll tell you that sometimes the edges burn and sometimes they don't. Depends. You got to watch it. It says, the instructions say to put it in for 10 minutes and then take it out and score it and then put it back for 20 more minutes. But depending on your oven, that may be a little bit too long. But for sure, after 10 minutes, if you want to score it so that it breaks into something that looks like a cracker, you can. But I will tell you, these girls, Amelia and Abigail, who y'all are mostly used to seeing Abigail on video. If you go back to all our old videos, it's Abigail that you see helping me cook. So anyway, we've got this pretty much spread out. And there's once it starts to cook, there'll be some of these really thin spots that may even, have separated a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. Now, so what are we going to do now? Well, as soon as the oven is heated to 350, we're going to put it in there. But before we do that, whoops, see, it all I get too a little bit too I'm just going to sprinkle this coarse salt over the top. Now, if you don't want this much salt, don't put this much salt. I think they taste better when they've got a little bit more salt on them. So, now I also have added everything bagel seasoning to this, and it's real good. But I'm not going to do that to these today. I'm just going to do this. Okay.
Mommy, you need it?
I don't need this. Thank you, Doug. All right. Amelia has a little bit of a cold today, but she's good. All right, so now what we're going to do is get all of that out of our way, and we're going to feed our starter. So we discarded, you can tell I've already been messing with sourdough and flour, but anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, because there's probably a little more than a cup in there, maybe a cup-ish, you know. So there's probably about a cup-ish of starter in there. Okay, Amelia. And we're going to add a cup of flour, and I'm using all-purpose unbleached, organic all-purpose unbleached. May add just a smidge more. And then I'm going to add a cup of water, or almost a cup of water, because I'm going to stir it up some first before I put every little bit in there. And if it's not as much as I wanted, you know, if it's as, I should say, if it's as liquidy as I want it to be, then I won't add any more. But no, it's still, it needs a little more. So we'll go ahead and add the rest of it. Some people like their sourdough starter thin. Some people like it a little thicker. It's like pancake batter. I like my pancake batter really thick. Some people like it really thin. So it's just a matter of your preference. But the main thing is that you put enough flour in there so that the starter that's in there has something to feed on. If this thing was half full of starter and I only added a cup, that's not enough for it to feed on. And so that's why I went ahead and did the discard first. And see, discard doesn't mean you have to throw it away. Discard is just you're taking it out of, kind of like your mother jar, you know, because I do vanilla as well, and they call it, you know. So that's kind of like what this is. All right, I'm going to put just a smidge more water. Okay, that's good. And now I'm just, you know, and now understand that if you do sourdough, and now I don't change out my jar every time I feed my starter. That is way too much work and too much trouble. But I do change it out once or twice a week. It depends on what all I'm doing and how much I'm using. So anyway, but I just want to start real good, get everything incorporated real good. I had taken it out of the refrigerator pretty early this morning and let it come. It wasn't warm, but I'd let it come semi to room temperature. And so that's what we did. Now what I'm going to do is just put the lid back on it. I'm going to let it sit here for, I don't know, a couple hours. Let it just percolate a little bit. And then we will put it back in the refrigerator. Because I don't use it every day, it can live in the refrigerator. I don't have to feed it every day if I'm not using it every day. So anyway, it will go back in the refrigerator, and that's what, once it has sat here for a little bit. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back when this comes out of the oven. The oven's not quite ready to 350 yet, but it's 350, and when it gets to that, we'll put it in, and then we'll come back when we take it out. Okay, we have taken our crackers out of the oven, and you see it's just one piece, and where it's thinner, it's a little more brown, but that's okay. And I just break it off and break it off in big chunks. And like I say, we don't care if it's scored or not, but if I was going to do it so that it looked real nice, I would score it. So, Amelia, you want a bite? Okay. I don't know if you can hear the crunch. Quite a lot of crunch. Now, you can double this and make 2 pans, which is what I would do, because these will be gone in no time. The girls love them. We love them. My husband loves them. And so we had soup for lunch yesterday and ate the last of what I had. So I had to make more today, but for the video I didn't want to mess with doubling it. But yes, I would double the recipe and do 2 pans at a time. So anyway, thank you for coming along and watching our little sourdough cracker operation here and feeding our starter. Like I said, we'll leave it out for a little while, let it, you know, percolate just a little bit, and then we'll put it back in the refrigerator. We're so glad that you came along with us on our journey towards sustainability. Be sure, if you haven't already subscribed, to do so. Like our videos, and please share our videos. So we know that for a little while we've not put up anything, but we're trying to get back in the saddle now and post it regularly, at least once a week. We'll see how it goes. But we thank you for coming along with us, and God bless you from Pemberley Farm.